Hey everyone, it is Tuesday and it is the moment. I am your host, Meredith Lynch, and I'm joined always by my formidable co host, Rebecca Senanez. And I can't believe it, y'all. When he confirmed, I had to pinch myself.
Same.
Jay Jurden is a New York based comedian, writer, actor. His debut comedy special, Yes Ma'am, premiered November
Woo!
on Hulu. A heartfelt, hilarious hour exploring race, queerness, the South, and his roots. He was a staff writer for The Problem with Jon Stewart. Jay has appeared on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Comedy Central, HBO's High Maintenance. He's been recognized by Vulture as one of the comedians you should and will know, and recently made his Marvel debut. Gee, you got Marvel money?
He's got Marvel money.
Marvel voices X-Men. Jay is currently touring nationwide with the Nothing Special tour now through February 26th. Jay Jurden, I feel like you are the moment, my friend.
Thank you, Meredith. Thank you, Rebecca, for having me. Yeah, it's been a really fun year, a fun couple of years. But yeah, this past year, I got to tour all over the country, and I got to witness firsthand just how much comedy, politics, and the current kind of geopolitical international moment we're having are all interconnected.
100%.
I have a question for you. Like
Yeah.
you're based in New York, obviously, but you're from, you grew up in Mississippi, you lived in different areas of Mississippi, and you're now touring the country. What is the thing that you think us coastal elite lefties don't know about this whole other middle of the country?
I wouldn't even give away that framing because it puts the onus on all the people who live in a certain part of the country. I would say that more everyday Americans need to understand that so many people are struggling. If you give them the option to like ease some of that suffering, most people will say yes. If you give people options like Mamdani, if you give people options, sadly, like some of the Republican politicians who have kind of like lied to people and told them that they're gonna be able to make more money doing this. If you give people options to ease their suffering, they will appreciate it. So that's kind of what you notice when you go around the country, is that economically, so many people, this isn't like a culture war issue, but like economically, there's so many people who are just like suffering, and they would love to have some sort of safety net and some help from their city, from their state, and from their federal government.
It's so we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, like it's actually quite simple. And this is one of the questions we're going to be asking our guest, Aaron Parnas, about, because I feel like Trump sort of ran on affordability, and now he's like, it is affordable. And
Rebecca, I don't know if you know, he invented the words affordability and groceries.
Wow, that is like a huge accomplishment for him.
No one had ever said those words before him.
Yeah, but I feel like that's, I mean, like when we've talked to senators and representatives, the thing that keeps coming up for us over and over again is like, what are we going to do about healthcare? And it's like, it doesn't matter whether you're a comedian or a journalist, or you're living in the South or you're living in the North. It's like everybody is like, we are on the struggle bus right now. So
yeah, and that struggle bus, it always seems to like crush the people in the middle and on the bottom, and no one at the top ever really addresses it. It's so hard for me to think that billionaires and Elon Musk's kind of goal at being a trillionaire, it's hard for me to think he has the people who work on the line crafting the Teslas. It's hard for me to think he has their best interest. It's hard for me to think that Jeff Bezos has the people who deliver these packages for people and who work in the warehouses. It's hard for me to believe he has their best interest when his interest is getting his wife a Vogue cover.
Yes. Yeah, they want to buy Vogue, I think. Well, let's talk about the people at the top right now, because Mel Robbins got a Golden Globe nomination this week before our friend Jay Jurden, which is bullshit. But this time next year, I fully expect. So let's quickly do some Golden Globes wrap up. Was there anything that surprised you? Any snubs? Anything?
I had one very pleasant surprise was Ava Victor, their movie that they wrote and directed, Sorry Baby. It is such a good movie about such a heavy topic. it deals with the issue of assault, but it does it in such a beautiful way. It's so carefully handled, but it's also still so funny and such a beautiful story. That Ava, a person who's been doing comedy for a bit, and I knew Ava before they were kind of directing this, and maybe while they were writing this. But it's so funny. I'm glad that people are taking note of just how funny and beautiful and sad, but also uplifting this story is. So that's one. And shout out to Sinners for getting as a person from Mississippi who knows kind of the history of the Delta, I was so happy to see Sinners, a vampire kind of period piece, get all this both like popular praise and getting some really cool critical praise as well. I wanted Delroy Lindo to get a nomination for his role in Sinners, so that is one snub that I kind of noticed. But overall, I'm very happy with it.
I think Sinners going all the way. Do you think Sinners will say that again? Sorry.
Lightning.
Do you think Sinners will go all the way? Do you think Sinners is going to do Best Picture?
I think Sinners is going to get a Best Picture nom. I don't know. I don't necessarily know how Hollywood and kind of like big brain Hollywood feel about like vampire movies. I don't know if the kind of genre is gonna undercut the beauty and the storytelling in that film, but I could see it definitely getting nominated for. It's gonna do very well this award season.
Yeah, I think so too. I also the surprise for me was Your Baby Girl and Mine, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein.
Yeah,
I thought he was fantastic in it, but like love to see him nominated because I hadn't really heard the buzz about him.
Yeah, I think that we are in this really cool era of people really do want to celebrate actors and directors and writers. I think because we are in a sort of political landscape where so much slop and kind of like middle brow, low think stuff is being created. We have some of the dumbest people running the country. So I think if you're an artist, your peers kind of want to make sure that you get your flowers right now. Because seeing Guillermo del Toro be like, fuck AI, I was like, yes, okay.
Yes. Yeah. Well, okay, speaking of slop, speaking of the people running our country, speaking of people who don't know shit about shit, Friday, it was announced that Netflix had a successful bid to acquire Warner Brothers and HBO, which would be a huge merger. And then there was speak over the weekend. First of all, Trump came out and was like, I'm going to be involved in this merger. He's sort of like playing all the sides. Then Monday it came out, Paramount, which is owned by David Ellison, came out and said, actually, we're going to make a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, a hostile takeover, and it's going to include the cable bundle, so they would get CNN. And as a reminder, Paramount already did this major Skydance merger. That means that they're in charge of CBS. David Ellison's father, Larry Ellison, is in the works to get TikTok. Also, by the way, Meredith, a new wrinkle that I just discovered this morning is part of Paramount's bid includes Jared Kushner's private equity fund, Affinity Partners. So, and now, by the way, Daddy Trump over the weekend on Truth Socialed about Marjorie Taylor Greene's 60 Minutes interview. And he wrote, quote, in all caps, Paramount, they're no better than the old ownership. So Barry Weiss is under the bus there. So Jay, you are both like a commentator on the media and politics, and also clearly somebody who this will like deeply affect. So like, what do you think? Who would you rather see own Warner Brothers, or like, are we all screwed no matter what?
Oh my God. So the scariest part of the Ellison kind of pact and with the Kushners, and hear me out, it's connected to the Riyadh Comedy Festival because Jared Kushner is backed by Saudi money. So part of that approach is that it sounds like they want to make a legitimate kind of second Republican media wing. They had Newsmax, they had OAN, but that's not legacy media. That still has no respect. People tend to make fun of it. They want to be able to buy CNN so they can turn CNN into Fox News 2.0 because they think they're getting like railroaded by MS Now, ABC, and NBC, and they think they don't have any other help. So that's one part of it, where they just want to be able to buy this cable bundle to kind of like preach the prosperity gospel of Trump and conservatism. The other angle is that these people have signed a deal with a man in Donald Trump who doesn't care about deals at all. Barry Weiss is in charge of CBS News now, and he's still upset. He's still upset. You cannot please this man. It is that episode of Wife Swap with King Curtis. He is gonna go to his grandma's house and complain the whole time. You can't make a deal because he keeps making a deal and he keeps losing.
100%.
Like, he's a child. It's petulant. So that's one side. The other side is that Ted Sarandos, it seems that Ted Sarandos is one of these people who thinks that innovation just means kind of destroying everything that was before. So if you are Netflix and you are hemorrhaging money and you are at a loss right now and you buy Warner Brothers and HBO because you want to put theaters out of business, it doesn't make sense. There's no way forward because people are still going to want to go to the movies. It's one of the few social things you can do. People in the industry are still going to want to have prestige films that do release in theaters for that cinematic experience. You're not going to make everyone say, oh, I should just stay home. Mind you, the only way that films really blow up is through social media engagement and like big buzz, big flashy premieres. You're kind of robbing yourself of all the things that make movie stars stars. Nicole Kidman didn't do the AMC ad at her house.
I mean, I also think it kind of speaks to this whole thing where like Trump just wants us all to be poor. That's the whole idea here is we want to make that wealth gap even bigger. So they're like, well, we're going to make the wealth gap bigger so you won't even have money to go to the movies.
Right? Not only and Trump also wants everyone to be a fan of his. A lot of people have theorized this. If you would have given him just an Emmy for The Apprentice, I don't know if we'd be here. There's this need, this want. We saw it when FIFA had to make up a peace award to give him. He won the soccer peace medal.
So he now the Nobel Peace Prize, and so people was like, "Oh, what?" And by the way, FIFA, that's like a notoriously corrupt organization.
Exactly. The World Cup was in color. Like there's a level of just, I guess, like want and need that he projects onto the country. And now because he is kind of at the levers, he's a 79-year-old man who's like, why don't more people like me? And usually you can just be like, okay, grandpa. You can usually at dinner, you can turn on TV and he'll be like, wait, Gunsmoke? I'll be like, we know you love Bonanza, so watch it. But we can't do that here because he kind of is also tanking.
That's why we have to give him Paramount. We're like, okay, like here you go.
We gave him Paramount. They're making okay. You have a Landman. You have all of the prequels related to all of the Taylor Sheridan
Amazon's
shows.
Gonna make Rush Hour 4, which is apparently his favorite movie of all time.
And he's gonna be in it, Rebecca and Meredith. He's gonna get cast in it.
He's gonna get Amazon has agreed to make Rush Hour 4 specifically because Trump loves Rush Hour, apparently.
You know what?
It's
not a bad movie.
It's not a bad movie.
Although I've only seen Rush Hour 1, so I don't know whether like the subsequent Rush Hours hold up.
I mean, like that's the trouble with like, it's hard for me to, every day I kind of waffle between like, how are we here? And then I go, yeah, this is what a lot of people would do if they were president.
Yeah.
Because there are some inherently selfish people in this world who would go, I think TV should always be nice to me.
Yeah.
And I get it. I'm a public facing person. Mean comments, you read them. But I don't know if I would want to like destroy a news media industry. I don't know if I would want to like put our country into a recession because Seth Meyers and Barack Obama made fun of me one time.
I think that's like part of the the whole problem right now is like politics used to be boring public service work.
Yes.
And now everybody is their own like TV channel, and everybody has to be like the most interesting person to look at. And then it gets less and less about like the boring public service stuff and more about, you know, look at me. What am I doing? Attention.
Well,
yeah.
I think that's a good point, because I think this next person that we're going to talk about, I actually think does a really good job of blending the personal, but also, you know, the actual job. And that is Representative Jasmine Crockett, who has announced that she is running for a Senate seat in Texas. She released a video before announcing yesterday. We're going to play this really quick, 40-second clip. Let's see it.
How about this new one they have? Their new star, Crockett. How about her? She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. Crockett. Oh, man. She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
Well, someone seems a little obsessed. And here's the thing. I was actually looking at, I was using Ballotpedia. Shout outs to our friends at Ballotpedia. I was using Ballotpedia today to look at how Jasmine has done in Representative Crockett. Excuse me, we're not that close yet. Representative Crockett has done in the past. And like, she does very well in Texas. Like when I look at the numbers of when she's been running against fellow Democrats in primaries, she's always done really well, especially recently. And so, you know, a lot of people are saying, is this the year that Texas does get a blue Senate seat? And also, there is a rising star in the party, Representative James Tallarico. So I think, what do y'all think? Do you think that this is the year that it happens? And you know, it feels like Jasmine's going to Representative Crockett. We're not friends yet, Meredith.
But that's also part of her charm is like, you're like, yeah, like you want to root for, you're like my girl, Jasmine. And then you're like, that's not my girl, Jasmine. That's Representative Jasmine Crockett. Before we go to, I just want to throw out there. Did you notice the diamond stars, the Texas star on her ear?
No.
Like the whole look, I just was looking at it and I was like, she's got the look down where it's like, it's a little bit Texas. It's a little bit glam. Like I just, you know, a moment for the look. And she's got like, they were like, almost like the sheriff stars, but they were all like, she just like looks, anyways, let's talk politics. But I just like my girl, Jasmine looks great.
I think that this could be the year for Texas. I also think that when a state gets that big, and the representation is not reflective of the larger urban centers, so much so that they have to continue to redistrict and redraw and gerrymander. I think when you have a place like Houston, when you have a place like Dallas, Fort Worth, Megaplex, when you have a growing place between like Austin, San Marco, and San Antonio, you have like 3 megaplexes that are going to be huge. They're full of people who are center left, full left, very progressive. Black and brown people deserve representation in the Senate in Texas. I think Texas's fear is that, we're gonna be seen as this backwoods state. When the population continues to grow, I think you have an opportunity both with Representative Crockett and James Tallarico. I think because no one gave Beto shit when he kept trying to run. So I don't love this.
Great point.
I don't love people saying, oh, she shouldn't try. Oh, it's a waste of time. The math isn't there. I don't love that as the like initial response to this. And I also think that when you dismiss Texas, you dismiss all the women of color in Texas who are suffering under these very kind of draconian, repressive reproductive health care laws. You kind of dismiss all of the different brown people in Texas who are being affected disproportionately by these new measures by ICE. You kind of dismiss all of the black people in Texas who were disproportionately affected by the big freeze when Ted Cruz thought it was okay to go to, Cancun. there's so much more to the South than people want to give it credit for. So I would love to see this happen. We didn't think there'd be 2 Democratic senators coming out of Georgia, but it did. It happened. So I think this year, if not the next 2, will be very telling for Texas politics.
I also think, like, as much as I hate math, the numbers don't lie. And like, for people to be saying, like, I don't know if Representative Crockett should be going for it right now. Well, guess what? The numbers of how she performs tell the story. And so she does well. And so I do think this is exactly the time.
I also like, I just feel like she has to win because we cannot lose Jasmine Crockett. Like, she's such an important voice in the Democratic Party. And I feel like she has that, like, she knows. I don't know. I think she's going to the top, and we got to get her on the moment. But speaking of people we got on the moment, this has been like an exciting, we've been wanting to get this person on the show since the jump. Today we have, you know him, breaking news. He's in your feed. He's in my feed. Mr. Aaron Parnas. He's a legal analyst and a political creator with one of the biggest Gen Z millennial audiences online. Newly minted Forbes 30 Under 30. Aaron Parnas is the breaking news for the internet. He's the founder of the Parnas Perspective with over 5 million followers across Instagram and TikTok. His Substack, the Parnas Perspective, somehow is literally always #1 on Substack. Mr. Aaron Parnas, welcome to the moment. We're so happy to have you.
Thanks for having me. Super excited.
Yeah. It's so good to have you. We have I did a bunch of prep and we had to cut it back. Like, I had so many things that we were talking about that I had to be like, all right, rein it in. And we want to end with a little game with you. So.
Oh, fun. All right.
Congratulations on being 30 under 30.
Thank you. It's awesome. I mean, it was a shock. I didn't expect it. So it was cool.
Oh,
really cool.
I feel like I saw that list coming out and I was like, I would put money on Aaron Parnas being on that list. So
you never know. I mean, like, they literally did not tell me until after it came out. So I had no idea.
Oh, well.
Yeah, literally had no idea.
It was breaking news to you.
It literally was breaking news.
He got lapped by Forbes.
Yeah, pretty much.
The only time.
How many videos have you made this morning? Wait, I do need to know this. How many videos have you made this morning? It's
been a slow day. So I've only done like 3 on Instagram, 2 on TikTok, 1 on YouTube, a couple on Substack. But it's been a relatively slow morning.
Okay.
I have questions about like how you make these decisions, how you do it. But I want to start first because you are also a lawyer. I want to start with the Supreme Court this week.
Yeah.
So this is a really interesting story. The Supreme Court is taking up a case. Trump wanted to fire somebody at the FCC, I believe.
FTC.
FTC, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And the justices appear ready to overturn Humphrey's executor, which is a 90-year-old precedent that limits the president's ability to fire people in independent agencies like the SEC, the FTC, the FCC, all of these agencies that regulate things without cause. And of course, Trump tried to do this, but it's looking like they're going to let him make this decision. So, Aaron, as a lawyer, I want to hear a little bit like what you're hearing about this case and sort of like what we can expect next.
So this has been like a brainchild of the Federalist Society for as long as I can remember. Humphrey's executor has been a case that the conservative justices on the court have been wanting to overturn for years. They just haven't had the votes to do it because in a 5-4 court, you didn't necessarily always have Roberts willing to vote with the libs. And so you didn't necessarily have the votes. Now, 6-3 over the past few years, if you look at Justice Gorsuch's concurring opinions in many cases, he talks about how he wants to overturn Humphrey's executor because they don't want these independent, quasi-independent agencies like the FTC, FCC to have essentially equal power to the president in some respects. So based on oral argument and what I listened to the entire oral argument, they're going to overturn Humphrey's executor. They're going to allow Trump to fire FTC heads, FCC heads. They're going to do it. They wouldn't have taken this case if they weren't going to allow him to do it. And that's why I actually tell people a lot, like, you have to look at the tea leaves with the Supreme Court. They didn't take the birthright citizenship case just to say, no, this is all unconstitutional. No, you have 4 justices, in my opinion, willing to side with Trump on that case. It's a matter of how far they go. They don't just take these cases for fun, right?
Yeah.
They take these cases because they want to make a statement.
Yeah. Do you what does this mean for Trump's power? Like, does he start like firing people? Like, what do you think this means for him?
I don't think you're going to see much different than what you've seen already. I mean, it gives him the power to kind of fire more people in these semi-independent agencies. But at the end of the day, these agencies under Trump haven't done anything and won't really do anything. Like, for example, the FCC, you have, I believe it's 4 Democrats, 4 Republican commissioners. They're not getting anything done. The FTC under Lena Khan did a lot, but under Trump, they don't want to do anything because they don't want to go after big companies. And so, yes, he's going to be able to fire some of these people, sure, but in just 3 years' time, if you have a Democratic president, they'll be able to quickly undo any damage done by Trump.
Aaron, you bring up something that is so interesting, that Trump wants to have full power, but he also somehow wants to balance it out, the fact that he still wants to maintain these business relationships with these big companies. So it is so tough to be a full-on autocrat and still want to curry favor with these companies who are usually pretty centrist, who kind of like go whichever way the executive branch goes, and who is just trying to like appease the president so they can like sell their products to Americans. Why is he so petulant, and why is he never aware of these things? It's so funny for him to think that this is going to be this grand sweeping gesture, and it just seems to be like ceremonial in spots.
Well, his entire presidency thus far has been just ceremonial. I mean, truthfully, look, and I tell everyone this, like, people are like, well, where do you have hope? And I'm like, I have hope because if you look at the last 11 months, he actually hasn't done much at all. The only bill he's passed in Congress is the big, beautiful bill. His executive orders aren't law. His Truth Social posts don't make any sense. I mean, like, he doesn't do anything. He just talks a big game and doesn't actually get much done. And so when you look at like his relationships with these companies and all this stuff, like he has big bluster. Great, I give him that. But then like look at the results, and there are none.
Yeah, the Truth Social posts, the most views they get is when they get screenshotted to Instagram and Twitter.
Literally.
Yeah, so true.
I feel like if Aaron Parnas said that my social media posts made no sense, like that would be the biggest burn ever, right? Like,
true.
Well, I just say he should run them through like ChatGPT at this point. Like, make sure that he has like proper grammar at least.
Aaron, also as a lawyer, I have a question about his apparent silence and backing away from the Pete Hegseth possible war crime situation, where now he has started to pull what I call the always Trump, where he goes, I didn't know anything about this.
Yes,
Pete,
he does. Yeah.
Whoa, I love Venezuela. Pete's crazy. Did you hear? He's drunk.
But he's the commander in chief. So I don't know what's worse, that he doesn't know what's happening in his own military that he's supposed to lead, or that he's just trying to run away from. This morning he said that the video was, quote, pretty bad. And now he doesn't want to release it publicly. So
pretty bad.
So this is the second video he doesn't want released publicly, the first being Stormy Daniels.
Yes. A true TBT. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Congress is weighing a fiscal year 2026 defense policy bill that would give the U.S. military its largest budget yet under President Trump. It's a must-pass package and a major test of how far Congress is willing to go in endorsing Trump's national security, right? Yeah. At the same time, Trump announced a $12 billion farm aid plan to stabilize a key political constituency as trade pressures and high costs hit U.S. agriculture. And all of this is happening while Trump appears to be losing some of the foothold within the MAGA movement. So you're on the Hill. You're in D.C.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Republicans are unified, or are there meaningful cracks that are starting to come?
Oh, they're not unified at all. There are a ton of cracks. A lot of them are just exhausted serving in this Congress because they feel like they have no autonomy anymore. They feel like they have to just listen to anything Trump says and does. I will say, Meredith, you bring up an interesting point about the bailout. There's been no president as good as fixing his own mistakes and claiming that they're wins as Trump, right? He institutes tariffs, hurts all these farmers. Then he's like, I'm going to give you all this money and bail you out. And look at me saving the farmers. He does that with everything. He causes a problem and then he fixes it himself. And I think Republicans on Capitol Hill, they're tired. Like, what are they doing? They haven't passed any legislation. Their investigations are going really nowhere. Their whole big investigation was the Biden auto pen investigation, and that's it. I mean, that hasn't gone anywhere. Like, great.
It's so funny. I'm sorry. Like, it is really funny when you think when
they don't work. I was talking to someone on Capitol Hill who's actually a Republican staffer, and he's like, "Well, I just don't understand like why my boss just is a bit apathetic." And I was like, "Your boss hasn't been in Congress for 6 months. Like, you guys haven't been working. Like, how do you like?" So I think that they're realizing that they could go and make some more money being a lobbyist, and so you're going to have a lot of retirements soon. A lot of this mass exodus is coming, and the writing is on the wall. I mean, 2026 is not going to go well for Trump.
Yeah.
Where do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene will be 12 months from today?
Oh, that's a good question. I think she'll be at like some like head of some conservative like PAC think tank type thing. That's what I think she's going to go for. I think she's going to want to run for office again after Trump.
That's what I think. I think that like MAGA is breaking up, and there's going to be like the America First, like populist wing. Then there's going to be the people that are like, well, we're just business people. And like, I think that MAGA is going to break up into like the factions of itself. And it's going to argue about what MAGA was to begin with, while Trump just sort of like sits there and gets fatter and fatter and fatter.
Rebecca, you bring up such a good point, because so many of these America First people are at odds with these business people, because America does so much business with people who come from India, with people who come from other parts of the world. So there are these chasms that kind of like show up in the Republican Party, where people have to put these kind of like social focused Republican groups against these very business capitalistic minded Republican groups, and they can't get along. It's hard to be racist when Google has a brown person in charge. It's very hard to be unified when all of these like disagreements pop up, and they're not small disagreements. They're disagreements that are so big that JD Vance has to deal with like extramarital affair rumors right now, because that's the core issue of the party.
Yeah, I know, that's such a good point. Do you think that like in 2026 we're going to see this play out? I feel like Trump has been like, hey, I got egg prices down. Why are you coming at me for affordability? But people are still feeling it. Like, do you think that this is going to affect what he has to do in 2026?
For sure. I mean, so I think Trump is just getting really bad advice from those around him. I think he's very insulated. When you spend all day, if I'm Trump and I'm spending all day on Truth Social, watching Fox News, watching Newsmax, I also would think I'm the greatest president, A+ economy, egg prices are down.
Aaron,
amazing.
To be fair, he's also sometimes asleep on camera.
Sure. But like, when you don't hear from average Americans, and this is why they have him in Pennsylvania today, this is why they're going to have him doing this economic blitz around the country. When you don't hear from average Americans, you think that you're perfect. And he's going to quickly realize that he's not. And when pollsters start coming to him and say, your numbers aren't looking too good, sir, well, I think they're going to have a change of tune.
Yeah. Let's talk about the media, because I feel like you are single-handedly upending how we get news. And I also feel like you get a lot of flack that I'm like, I don't know, he's just one dude. Like, either Aaron is AI or he's just one dude like out there doing his best. And I feel like sometimes I'm not quite sure. So to start with, I want to ask, how do you source your stories? And how do you like make the decision between like what's breaking news, what's regular news, and how? Yeah, go.
Yeah, no, so good question. So about 50%, 55% of the stories that I cover are from firsthand sources. Donald Trump puts out a Truth Social post. That's a lot of stories right there, right?
Yeah.
He tweets more than most, like whatever. You have, I'm a lawyer, right? So I have access to all these legal resources. When a court opinion is handed down, it goes directly to my email inbox. Every morning, I have the notifications on for every member of Congress, every world leader on Twitter and Truth Social. So I'm constantly combing through that. I get press releases from every agency, from every office on Capitol Hill. So I see those, I report on it. So a lot of it is coming directly from the firsthand source. Then I have constantly running 24/7 whenever I'm on my computer, C-SPAN that I'm watching. So I'm seeing what's happening in Congress, and I'm watching these press conferences, seeing what's happening there, making videos. And then I get a ton of tips to my email inbox, like hundreds every single day, pretty much, from federal workers, from folks with inside big companies, agencies, et cetera, who want to share their stories, who want to share what's happening there. So I'll vet that and I'll report on it. And then the last thing is I have a good core group of journalists and local news that I really trust. Like I don't consider myself like an investigative journalist by any means. I don't have the time to do that, but I go to ProPublica, who does great investigative work, and I'll report on what they're reporting. So that's kind of how I source my news. As far as what things are breaking, what things are not, to me, breaking news is timely news. And it's funny, there's like this moniker on social media that everything I say is breaking news. When you watch my videos, only about 20% are actually, I say the word breaking in them. I don't say breaking news much. And it's really like, I'm like, whatever, like whatever. I
feel for you, Aaron, because I'm like, every time that I make a video, someone will be like, that's the girl who got in a fight with Bethany Frankel. And I'm like, you guys, I've done so much since then.
Correct.
Please. Like,
Correct.
it's like, yes. And so now I'm like, oh God, I always say that about Aaron, but you know what? It's like the butterfly effect.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, Aaron, I've had like, when you first sort of came on the scene, I was sort of like, I don't know, like, what is he doing here? And then like, I've been in media a long, long time and I have my master's in journalism, but like I saw you and I was like, he's using what the internet does well, which is like getting where people are, the way that they're doing things. And then I saw you like slowly build into like a more robust news organization. And so now, like, not to like do your job for you, but like now I have like a protection with Aaron where I'm like, look, he's doing something good for journalism, which is like getting people excited and interested and,
Yeah. And listen, I tell everyone, like, I never rag on individual reporters unless it's Jake Tapper. I think many individual reporters do great work. It's the apparatus and institutions that they have to function in that, in my opinion, have failed Americans.
Yeah. Is it also the cable news brain that we have, where even if you don't say breaking news, every time someone says anything, we go, well, that was breaking news. And they go, no, that was a clarification. That was nuance. That was an update. I will tell you if something is breaking news, but because we've been kind of spoon-fed via the cable news kind of like TV system in every hospital ever, that everything is breaking news.
That started with 9/11 because news saw how much people were tuned in to the breaking news. And then they just never, like, breaking news wasn't really the same thing before 9/11. And then 9/11 happened and we were all like, for the first time, that dopamine for breaking news happened and it just never stopped. So we've been in like emotional crisis for 25 years, effectively.
Sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so funny though, because like as a person who I'd worked in kind of news comedy a bit when I was working on The Problem with Jon Stewart, John would talk about how volatility and churn are so scary, but they're so profitable. So even in kind of the TV news network, you want kind of this kind of shaking you awake effect. So that's why so many people go, this is the most important news story ever. Laboo-boos, are they demons?
Well, it kind of feels like this is the perfect time for us to prep Aaron for his game. We do have a game for you, Aaron. I want to apologize in advance. The game is aptly titled Breaking News or Losing Views. I am going to read you a news headline. Okay. You're going to tell me
by Aaron's iPhone. I'm sorry. That's so funny.
Thank you. I had a little fun in Canva this morning. I'm going to read you a news headline. You are going to tell me if it's true or false. So basically, is it breaking news or would Aaron be losing views? So I'll read you a news story and then you tell me if it's true or false. This year, a bill introduced by Oklahoma lawmakers seeks to make changes to the state's cockfighting laws by allowing robotic chickens to participate in fights. Aaron, what do you think?
False? That's too crazy for me to think that it's false. I'm going to say breaking news.
That is breaking news.
Breaking news, folks. We have some breaking news.
So a robot chicken would fight a regular chicken in this scenario. And it's a way to Yeah.
Wait a second. No, this is tied to the Netflix WB merger because Robot Chicken is owned by Cartoon Network Adult Swim. That's the Turner Group. So this is actually tied to Netflix.
It does all
a conspiracy theory path.
I also feel like this could tie into Trump's new executive order that says states can't regulate AI.
That's
like, yes, we can if it's a chicken.
That's funny.
Okay, number 2. Viewers tuning into NASA's official YouTube channel last month, expecting an update on the ongoing Artemis mission, were treated instead to an unexpected broadcast when 3 astronauts performing karaoke aboard the International Space Station had gotten the time wrong for their live stream. True or false?
I think that's true too.
Unfortunately, that one would be false. That one would have losing views.
Oh no! I was excited. What were they singing? Major Tom?
I know. I was like, we are the dancing queen.
Where are you pulling these? Are you like getting them from like The Onion or something?
Meredith's crazy brain.
A little place called Meredith's Brain.
Love it.
Okay, this is the next one. Ready? Earlier this week, it was reported a father and son broke a Guinness Book of World Records for fastest time clearing a game of Hungry Hungry Hippos in 5.8 seconds. Is that breaking news?
Gotta be breaking news.
That is breaking news. It happened earlier this month.
Because I actually saw that one.
Did you do a breaking news post about it?
Oh my god!
No, it was in my like good news roundup.
He reported on this.
Journalism. He cared.
Yeah. In fact, you heard it here first.
You heard it.
Okay, here's your last one.
Okay.
A group of 5th grade students at the Brooks Elementary School in Medford, Massachusetts, have recently gained support from the Department of Education to officially replace the word cursive with boomer hieroglyphics. Is that breaking news or losing views?
That's a little much. Losing views.
That is losing views.
Yeah.
That is losing views.
And boomer hieroglyphics, those are emoticons. That's boomer hieroglyphics.
That would require...
If you've ever done colon hyphen open parentheses, that's boomer hieroglyphics.
That would require the boomer leading the Department of Education to approve of that.
Oh!
Maybe they're trying to get the Gen Alpha vote.
Yeah,
Aaron,
maybe.
you don't like professional wrestling?
What? I don't watch professional wrestling now.
Linda McMahon, you don't like?
I don't watch TV.
Wait, so are you not going to be at the UFC 250th anniversary fight at the Trump?
I hear they want to put people like me in the ring and then vote on whether or not.
Whoa.
You guys, Aaron, I would not want to be in the ring against Aaron. Did you hear his burn about the Truth Social post? Like, see, Aaron would burn you.
Aaron
would just be like, I'm out.
God.
I'm out.
Yeah. Aaron would fuck you
Aaron, this is so much fun. Where can I hate to even ask you this, but I guess I have to. Where can all of our friends find you?
Yeah, on all social platforms, just my name, Aaron Parnas, and then the Parnas Perspective on Substack.
Aaron, I just want to ask, what would have happened in this if breaking news was happening? Would you have said, I'm sorry, I need to pause?
I mean, it depends on like the gravity of it. If like Trump died, yeah, I'd probably pause. But if it was something a little less, then like I'll wait a few minutes.
Fair enough.
Oh, Aaron. Okay, 2 questions. Which AP should we trust more, you or the Associated Press?
The Associated Press.
Okay, cool. And was Trump dead for those 3 days? Now that you bring it up?
Absolutely not. People need to stop spreading misinformation on the internet.
I think he was getting an upper blepharoplasty. That's my. I think he was getting a little work done, and it got out of hand.
Maybe. Who knows?
Aaron,
that
you're
definitely doesn't look good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We had so much fun with you.
Come back
anytime.
anytime.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Wow. Talk about the Parnas perspective. That was a fun one, right?
Yeah.
I love Aaron
with that game too. I love Aaron too.
Aaron is a good sport. And that's once I met Aaron in person, that was like the thing that kind of won me over. I was like, oh, he's down to clown.
I'm telling you, like I said, when I first encountered him, I was like a little bit skeptical, but I really like there's so few people, especially men, who like listen to feedback and calibrate and do better. And I just like, because I follow Aaron, and again, like not to be like a stan account for Aaron, but like I do see him. It's like I see criticism and then I immediately see him respond and do better. And I'm always like, and in that way, I'm like, leave my buddy Aaron Parnas alone.
And I want to say, with the way that people ingest news, the way that people kind of get things from their phones, you do want someone who has that many kind of layers of vetting, people who kind of like can cite their sources. It's not just sort of a gossip rag. It's not, it's not Dumois for politics.
Cares. I think I think his intention comes from a place of like wanting to do good information, and like that intention is more than 90% of the people we see out there right now.
What?
I don't think that's really.
Well, y'all, this has been a fun one, but we got to find out what's having a moment for everyone. Okay. Jay, what's having a moment for you on this? I believe it's a chilly Tuesday morning for you in New York. What's having a moment for you?
Yes. So I think that my special Yes Ma'am is having a moment. It's not just available on Hulu. As of yesterday, it is available on Amazon Prime for purchase and rental, YouTube TV for purchase and rental, and Apple TV Plus for purchase and rental. So we've expanded it. All of my fans in Canada, the UK, and Australia have been very vocal that they want to be able to see it. So now they can. So that is having a bit of a moment. I would also say right now online, straight men shaking their butts in TikTok videos is having a moment. For the longest time, every TikTok video I saw was a girl or a gay boy kind of having a little fun. The straight boys over the past few months they've been learning the choreography. Oh my God. Especially with one specific TikTok sound that's based on a rap song from Atlanta, where they pretend like they're going to do a sport and then they just start twerking. I'm not mad at it. That's a holiday gift that everyone can enjoy.
That's right. I also feel like maybe that's solving the male loneliness epidemic. Maybe they just need to dance.
Yeah. Oh my God, Rebecca, I know we don't have a lot of time, but please, we have to stop thinking Scott Galloway is the answer. Scott Galloway's only answer is please have sex with these repulsive men so they'll be nice to us. And I don't know.
You know that I used to be I was the original producer of Pivot. And so I used to work for Scott.
Boss.
And before Scott made this a thing, the internet is here first. I remember when Scott first started going off about this, and I called him afterwards and I was like, this is why that's a problem and women don't want to have to hold responsibility. And I cut myself without permission. I cut myself into the show correcting him.
Rebecca,
it was not enough to stop him.
Every week he says, oh, we have to take responsibility. Okay, sure. We have to build community. Yeah, we have to make sure people can afford to live in America. I agree. And one more thing, please don't say it. Have sex with these dudes. What?
And just one more thing. Just one more little thing. Yeah. I know.
Women sleep with these terrible men. Yeah, they're awful. Yeah, they stink.
Yeah, you're tired.
They pee in Gatorade bottles and they leave it in their room. So?
Yeah, well, also, and yeah, if you get pregnant, you can't get an abortion. You know what I mean? Like, it also negates like, the entirety of the content. Like, I know, trust me, I both hold myself responsible for part of his popularity, and before it was cool to call out Scott Galloway for this nonsense, I was calling Scott Galloway out.
So I would say straight men shaking their cute little butts is having a moment. Keep doing it. Free yourself from the prison of masculinity and shake your butt a little bit.
Hell yes. Rebecca, what's having a moment for you?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to like build off of that because this is sort of like my anti-moment, which is I watched the Diddy documentary on Netflix yesterday. And I don't know whether like it's a moment exactly, but like going back and watching this documentary to sort of like sequentially put this man's life in order, it's like, yeah, this was happening in front of all of our eyes forever and forever and forever. And we all just sort of were like, this is the culture. And like, it's so fascinating to me to look back at all of this because I remember these moments, right? Like I remember it. And it's like, you know, we collectively ignored what was right in front of our eyes because we liked the music, we liked the culture. And I don't know whether that's an anti-moment, but like, did he just like if somebody had given him a hug when he was a kid, like it sounds like things would have gone a lot better for a while.
I think it can be seen as like a collective moment of reckoning and a continued investigation of like how we seem to be okay with abuse and assault on these big levels, as long as it happens to Black and brown women we all know about, as long as it happens to people in the music industry and we still get to consume. I think that is a moment. I think having the ability to discuss it and to kind of name it and to say we have to learn from this, I think that's a very important moment right now.
It makes me also want to really open my eyes and be like, what's happening in our culture right now that in 10, 15, 20 years, we're like, I can't believe we let that happen, like it's very like we are all under these delusions all the time because of money, because of PR, because of, like I looked at some of this Diddy stuff and I'm like, yeah, he had amazing crisis PR that was able to be like, well, look away very, very quickly. And, there's no doubt in my mind that there's similar things to that happening now. And I think some of it's obvious. I think ICE, I think there's like so many things that even now we're like, yeah, this is going to be really embarrassing very, very, very soon. But I think there's probably other things that I'm sure I'm missing because, it's easier to put the blinders on.
Oh my God. I primarily think about the amount of people who are accepting money for online sports gambling and just the amount of people over the amount of young men over the next 5, 10, 15 years who are going to see themselves in sort of insurmountable debt or just kind of have a really bad taste left in their mouth over the fact that it was gamified and it felt like Candy Crush. It didn't feel like kind of facilitating an addiction that can destroy people's lives.
I also think that there's eventually going to be a scandal where some congressman or senator is placing bets on the poly market and then making votes and decisions based off that and making money off of it. That's such a good point. I do think that's going to be one of those things that we're going to get a Hulu documentary or Netflix, Warner Brothers, Paramount documentary at some point. Meredith, babe, what's having a moment for you?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, the fact that I now have a reason to run for Congress, because that sounds no, two things having a moment for me. First of all, I'm going out to DC this week and I'm going to be on a panel at a Courier event. We love Courier. They do incredible both national and local news coverage. And so I'll post about it on social media, but I have a 50% off code to come to the event on Thursday night at the Eaton in DC if you want to grab tickets. The tickets are really affordable already. So anyway, if you're watching, I'd love to come. I love meeting folks, etc. So come hang. I think it's going to be a really great panel. And then I'll tell you what also is having a moment for me. MAGA is mad at me. And it's over exactly what you think it is, an Entenmann's cake. So Vienna's going to pull up the photo. So over the weekend, the White House had a few different holiday parties. And so this was a cake at one of the holiday parties. And I just want to say, this is disgusting. So first, let's walk through this cake for a second. All right. This cake looks like people I feel like, I don't know, Stephen Miller has been eating this with his hands. That is all because look at how this thing has been cut. Now, if you're going to have a nice White House level party, I feel like it should be a pre-cut cake. I think this is why cupcakes are a fantastic option, single serve things. But who is cutting this cake? It looks disgusting. So I posted about this cake on social media and said that it also just looks fucking gross. It looks like an Entenmann's cake that some grandma had.
It looks like the White House. It's like rubble off of an existing structure.
Right.
No, it's the construction cake.
It's the construction cake.
It is the construction cake. It's a manifestation of the construction.
It looks like the White House right now.
No, they're saying this is a rendering of the East Wing. Usually we have a gingerbread house. This year we have Stephen Miller digging his bare, crummy hands into a cake.
So I posted about this on Threads, and let me tell you, MAGA was mad. They're like, why do you care? Stop posting about the cake. Why does this bother you? Don't make fun of the cake. And I'm like, talk about the ultimate snowflake reaction. It's like, you guys get so mad at us because you're like, you guys can't take a joke. And then I post honestly, if Joe Biden had this cake, if Barack Obama had this cake, I would make fun of this cake. Okay. This cake looks disgusting. Here's the thing. Obama and Biden would not have had this cake. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
and what's on top? Are those cherries or raspberries?
I think those are raspberries. That's probably like the best part about this cake. And then behind it, I think they're just raw dogging Oreos behind that, by the way. Like they're just like a plate of Oreos.
That's so true. They are.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So
MAGA hasn't been this defensive of a fruitcake since what? Benny Johnson? This is
wow, that was a sick burn.
But I think, so to me, I do think this is sort of like a manifestation though of how like everything at the White House is not as nice as it used to be. But I think one of the biggest things that someone said to me that really like stood out to me, and it was probably like Deb623984, whose like bio is like, love my grandkids and living life. And like, but then just like leaves me mean comments all day. But I think somebody said like, why do you care what happens there? And I was like, I pay for this house. I pay for this fucking house. I feel like my dad, when my sisters and I were like 20 and being absolutely unhinged in our house because our mom died, and we'd be like, what do you care? And he was like, I pay the mortgage. Like, I pay for this fucking house, so I get to have an opinion on this cake.
Yeah. And we continue to let the White House fall in disarray under this administration. Not figuratively, not politically, not historically, literally. Yes. Literally, they just do. They take former President Joe Biden's photo down. They put a pin up. They remodel it just because he wants shitty granite in. They want a ballroom. They change former health and services secretaries' names. It is a literal kind of destruction of what we've seen as progress in America manifest in that house.
Right. And maybe in that cake.
And in
that cake specifically.
Jay Jurden, we know you have this incredible special out. We're going to tell everybody, we're going to link to it. We're going to make everybody go there. But where can our friends find you?
You can find me on all social media, just at Jay Jurden, my name, JayJurden. That's on Instagram. That's on TikTok. Yes, that's on X, formerly Twitter. I'm there because someone has to fight the Nazis, and on Threads and on Blue Sky. So you can catch me on all social media. I'm also going to continue the tour through next year, so you can catch me in your city. Tickets are going to be available on my website, and I usually post those every week. So please, and thank y'all for having me.
Oh my God, thank you for coming on.
I also want to throw out there, just yesterday, Jay Jurden, top 25 comedians to watch in 2026, according to Deadline. So
yay.
I really think, like, I feel in my bones that this is your breakout moment. And this time next year, we're going to be like, what do you think? Maybe Jay wants to come on the show. And Jay's going to be like, sorry, I have to go to the Golden Globes. Sorry.
No, I'll always come back to this show. And shout out to the Golden Globes for getting Nikki Glaser to host it again. I'm very excited for that.
Yes.
If I can say one more good thing about comics who kind of like understand the moment. Also, she's so funny. She is so good at like making sure that men are taken down a peg. I think she's funny, she's raunchy, she's silly, I love Nikki Glaser. So shout out to Nikki Glaser. She's gonna be an amazing host, and I'm excited to see what happens. So thank y'all for having me.
Next year, Jay Jurden. Thank you, Jay.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Y'all.